So let me introduce myself. So my name is Sudhams and I'm holding 11 plus years of experience in this IT industry, and I've been working in this containerization technology in the recent time from past 7 plus years. Okay, and I'm holding a certificates from Azure DevOps Engineer and Azure Developer as well. So which comes under AZ 104 and AZ 400. So coming back to the point, so let's understand a few basic points before jumping into the session. So where I used to ask in every demo, I used to ask these kind of questions to understand where we are and what we need to learn. So as part of that, let's try to understand what is information technology. So does anyone know what is information technology? It is nowhere related to your course, means the topics what I'm teaching you right now, but I just want to show you these are the basics. Okay, so you want to get an IT, right? You want to get a job in IT. So what is information technology in your point of view? Any answers to it? No one? Okay, so let me answer from my side. Okay, if you don't know about this, it's like you're trying to get a job in IT, right? So information technology is all about the device which is used to share the data, or the technology which is developed to share the data, to store the data, or to transfer the data. So that is the purpose of using information technology. Earlier, how we used to communicate? We used to write some letters, right? So we used to write some letters. Before that also we have some mediums to transfer the data. So if I write my data on the notebook, how long it will be available, right? If you tear the page, or if I throw the book, if your book is lost, what about your data that you have written, right? So that's the reason we want to store this data in a device. That's why the information technology came into picture. Okay, so that is a basic thing that you need to understand. The technology that we are using in order to share the data, or to store the data, or to transfer the data is called as information technology. Okay, in the information technology, the devices will store the information in the form of ones and zeros combination, because your devices cannot understand human readable language. So it will be converted into machine level language. So what is a machine level language? Ones and zeros combination. Okay, so that is a basic information of what is information technology. Next one is, what is a website? Any answers to it? What is a website? I think you are using Swiggy, Zomato, Netflix, Disney, Hotstar. You are using so many websites, right? So what is a website?
A set of pages information.
No answers in the sense what I need to understand. So if this is the procedure, right, we cannot interact.
Where we can
Sorry?
fetch the information?
Sorry?
Where we can fetch the information?
Okay.
If we take Swiggy,
Yeah. Any other
there we
answers?
can fetch the information like food.
Okay. Yeah. Any other answers? Thank you. So website is a combination of web pages, right? So website is a combination of web pages. It could be a dynamic page, or it could be a static page, right? So for example, I want to start a restaurant, or I want to start an e-commerce website for shopping, like Myntra, or let's say Flipkart, Amazon, e-com websites. Or let's say I want to create an e-learning portal like Udemy. Visualpath is having its own KTS engineers, and Visualpath Tech, Visualpath EdTech. All these are e-learning portals. So if I want to share some information, I need a website to access the data. So website is a combination of web pages. What you will store in the page, what kind of information you will store in web page. It could be a static or dynamic, whatever it is. What kind of data you will store in web page? Any answers to it? Any guess is also fine. See, you don't need to be accurate. It's a kind of interaction what we are trying to make it out.
So the data we
Any
stored in
data?
the cloud.
the data
Not
reading
exactly. I'm talking about a web page, not web. What is a database? Database will
Text.
store the information, but web page will display the information, right? What kind of information? Text, videos, pictures. We call it as gallery, right? So this kind of information will be stored in the web page. Okay, so web page is a data that will show the information in the form of text, in the form of video, or in the form of image. YouTube channel, right? It is showing you the information on the web page in the form of videos, right? So that is a web page. It could be a dynamic page or a static page. All together, the combination is called as website. Okay. Now the next point. Let's understand what is operating system. You are using Android operating system, iOS operating system, Windows operating system, MacBook, or Linux. You are using many operating systems, right? Why we need an operating system? All this terminology, what I'm saying you right now, you're using on daily basis. It's not something new I'm teaching you right now. What is operating system? First of all, why use an operating system? What is the reason behind that?
To run our softwares.
Okay, yeah, that is one answer. Anything else apart from that?
It will be helping as an interface between machine and the resource.
Yes. So as a human being, I cannot talk to the hardware, right? Either the printer, CPU, memory, hard disk, okay, drivers. I cannot talk to them, right? They can understand only binary language, ones and zeros. So I need a medium. Let us say, for example, I don't know how to talk. I went to some particular out of station. There, I don't know their mother tongue. I need a person who can translate my conversation, right? So translator. So similar to that, I need an operating system to convert my human readable language into the machine level language and machine level language into human readable language. So that is the main purpose of why we have to go for operating system. Not only that, to run your software, to run your applications. So that is software applications are also human readable language, right? They use English or a program. They use some kind of calls to talk to the hardware. Okay. So that is the main purpose why we will go for operating system. Next one is what is a network? You are using network, right? Wi-Fi, LAN cable and all. What is a network?
Connection between two computers.
Yeah, exactly. But not two computers. In order to communicate the devices on the to each other, we have to create a network. For example, you are using Wi-Fi at your home. Why are you using Wi-Fi at your home? Because I want to communicate to the internet. Not only that, I want to communicate to my printer at my home. I want to communicate to my smart TV from my mobile, or from mobile, I want to communicate to another mobile. So I want to connect multiple devices to share the data. That is called as network. Okay. Next point. What is internet then? What is internet? You understood what is a network. To communicate between the devices, to share the data or to transfer the data, we create a network. What is internet? You are using right now. Because of internet only, we are able to talk to each other.
Which transfers
Okay?
the data between the network, which helps to transfer the data.
Exactly. So which transfers the data across the geographical location. Okay, across the geographical location, right? Because you're sitting somewhere else. I'm sitting at my home and we are able to talk to each other, right? So we are able to communicate across a geographical location. That is called as internet. Without having internet, can we talk to each other? We can't. It's impossible. Though we are using GoToMeeting, it's an application. But for that application, we need an internet connection. Without having internet connection, can we talk to each other? Impossible it is. Okay. Now the last point. What is cloud computing? The last question which I want to ask. Does anyone know what is cloud computing? That's the reason why you're
cloud
trying to learn
computing
this course. Sorry,
Maybe
means the storage
managing
of data in
operating
the cloud.
system.
one by one. Sorry, Ashok. Yeah, you're saying something.
Yeah, computing is nothing but to store the data. Whatever are getting the input, they store the data and perform the data.
Then you can call it as a disk, right?
Yeah, and describe, yes.
But what is cloud computing?
Yeah,
Actually, what am I doing?
Yeah, Nagesh.
store the data in cloud.
What is a cloud? That's my question actually.
Yeah, instead of maintaining the physical server,
Okay.
we can have a cloud server, and
Mhm.
we can connect across, like geographically, we can connect based on the location wise.
Okay. Okay. I'll keep it so simple. Cloud computing is all about providing the compute resource over the internet. Is called as cloud computing. Okay. For example, what he said. If I want to create a physical infrastructure, for example, you are using on daily basis. You are using network at your home, right? Have you done the setup network at your home? No. I contacted my internet service provider. We call it as ISP. It could be Fiber, Geo, Airtel, or local broadband network and all. What you will do? You will pick the right plan. Whichever the company is providing the right solutions, I will contact them. I will check for the plan, and whichever plan is suitable for my home requirement, I'll purchase that particular plan. Either I will go for 3 months or 1 month or 1 year, whatever I'm capable of. So I'm contacting someone who is providing a service at my home, right? So similar to that, what is a cloud computing? The services that are provided over the internet is called as cloud computing. What is that service? Compute services. What are those? Network, storage, and then machines, means computers. Okay, all these are called as cloud computing. So providing the IT resource over the internet is called as cloud computing. Okay, so these are the fundamentals. Before starting about your career in IT industry, you need to know these fundamentals. So that's the reason you understood now, right, where we are, what we need to learn. Okay, so where we are behind. See, everybody can create something, but learning fundamentals will help you a lot to survive in IT industry for a longer period. You may survive for a shorter period, fine. But if you want to survive in IT industry, if you want to shift from one company to another company for your salary hike, or maybe due to your career growth or something, I need to know the strong. I need to be strong enough in basics. Okay, so that's the reason I just want to interact with you guys to understand where you are, to help you out where we are right now. These are daily terminologies what we are using. It is not something new I'm teaching you. Okay, these are the terminologies which are using on daily basis, and you are using it, but still we don't know that. You understood, right, how we are learning our technology. So fundamentals are the most important. Okay, now let me jump into the actual course what I'm going to teach. Okay, so in this, first I want to start with Linux operating system. These are like prerequisites. Before you talk about any DevOps, DevSecOps, whether it is AWS, Azure, GCP, or on-premises, first you need to learn about operating system. And that too, in our course, we will be using Linux operating system. In the Linux operating system, we have many flavors. In that, I will be using Ubuntu operating system. What is the reason behind that? It is a open source. Open source in this is what? Free of cost. Since it is free of cost, I am not using it. It is most widely used open source operating system tool in many of the organizations. Okay, Red Hat is a licensed one. Without purchasing a license key, you cannot use a Red Hat operating system. CentOS got deprecated. We cannot use it right now. So what is the alternate solution we have? From many years, Ubuntu operating system. And it is easy to learn for a newcomers. For a newcomers, it is easy to learn. In Ubuntu, we have to use only even numbers, not odd numbers. What are the even numbers? 18, 20, 22, and now the latest one is 24. For you batch, I will be teaching 24 version, not 22. For previous batches, I used to teach 22. Recently, they have released a new version in Ubuntu 1 month back, or maybe 20 days back, I guess. They released a new version called 24. Though in the slide I have written 22, I'll be teaching you 24. Okay, so 24 is an even number, right? So we will be using even numbers, and that too LTS, long-term support. What is a long-term support? If I use even number 22.04 LTS version, they will provide me a support for 10 years. Official 5 years, extended support 5 years. So on total it is 10 years. What is the benefit of that? Until 10 years, I don't need to worry about upgrading my operating system on the server. That is a benefit what we have with Ubuntu operating system. Until 10 years, I can relax. Okay, I have to do only patchwork. Okay, I need to upgrade only minor version or a patch version. I don't need to worry about major version. Okay, so that is the advantage what we have with Ubuntu operating system with LTS version. After completing this Linux basics, even though if you know about Linux operating system, I have to teach. Why? Because even one person doesn't know who is joining this course. I have to teach from scratch. Okay, so that is, if you want, you can skip it. If you want to directly join the actual concepts, you can join. You can talk to the Visualpath management. Okay, but I will be starting from Linux operating system, how to install it, how to create it, where we have to practice. Do I need to purchase a new machine? Not necessary. You can practice in your local system without deleting your Ubuntu operating system. What you are without deleting your Windows operating system, what you are using for your personal usage. Even after using that, I can still run Ubuntu operating system and I can practice. Okay, so no need to worry about that. I'll be teaching you from scratch. The only thing is I need concentration from you guys. Ask the questions, practice it, means try to replicate that. What are the tasks I've given, try to do that. If you have any questions, you can ask me at any point of time. You can stop me and you can ask me the questions. Okay, so every day we'll have an interactive session. Okay, practical sessions. Okay, nothing will be theoretical. Theoretical I'll be teaching only 10%, but entire 90% will be a practical session. It is not for the namesake of what I'm saying. I would recommend join for 3 to 4 days, listen to the classes. If you are comfortable with the way of my teaching, and then only join your course. Okay, no what is a request or something like that. Okay, because you have to be comfortable, right? Every person is not comfortable with my way of teaching, right? Everybody have a different sync. Okay, that's the reason. Don't be in hurry to do the payment at all. So first join the course, listen to 3 to 4 days, see whether you are comfortable or not, whether it is suitable to you or not. Okay, see, simple thing. If you want a job, good salary and all, you have to work harder. Without without working hard, you can't get a good salary, right? Obviously. Okay, that is a known fact. I cannot hide it. So the fact is, you have to practice and you have to come up with the questions. Okay, and you have to do some R&D as well. What are the concepts I'm teaching? Beyond that, you have to do your own R&D. That is also needed from your end. It's a simple thing. For a freshers, it might take 2 hours. For a person who is already experienced, he might take only 1 hour. But both will be on the same path. That's what you need to understand. Until you understand the concept, you have to practice. Okay? So that's a simple information which I want to convey. And the next thing is, after completing this operating system, we have to learn about shell scripting. It is not a PowerShell. We are learning Bash shell because it is a Linux operating system. Since we are learning Linux operating system, we have to learn about Bash shell scripting. It is not a programming language. It is a scripting language. Okay. There is a lot of difference between programming and scripting. Okay. We'll discuss about that one by one. For now, this is the prerequisite. Before I talk about Azure Cloud or Azure Cloud Services and DevSecOps, first you need to learn about Linux operating system, and then shell scripting I'll be teaching at the last. Okay, not in the first phase itself. After completing this, what I need to learn? I need to learn some cloud services of Azure Cloud. What are the services we need to learn? I will list down all of them. Okay, I cannot explain you each and every service what it is, but I can list down all the services what we are going to learn. Microsoft Entra ID, virtual machines, virtual network, load balancer, and then Azure Disk, it comes under storage. Azure Files, it also comes under storage, and Azure Blob, it also comes under storage, and then Azure Tables. All these particular 4 services comes under storage. And now Azure Container Instances. You guys have to practice more and you have to concentrate more on containerization technology. If you ask anyone, your friend, relatives who are working in software industry, they will let you know what is the purpose of containerization technology, how organizations are using it. Many of the organizations have adopted containerization technology in their environments. Okay, so that's the reason you have to concentrate more on containerization services in Azure like container instances, container apps, container registry, and then Kubernetes services. So you have to concentrate more on these 4 services. That is so important for your career. Don't ignore this particular 4 services. Okay? Don't ignore in the sense you have to concentrate more. Okay? And then Azure monitoring. Okay, and then we have content delivery network, where we are using in many of the applications like Hotstar, Netflix. In many of the applications we are using content delivery network and web application firewall. There are some services which are listed here which comes under security part, because we are learning about DevSecOps, right? I have to be strong enough in security as well. So one of the security is nothing but web application firewall, Azure monitoring, and then we have networking, some services, not all of them, few services under that. Microsoft Defender for cloud, that is also comes under security. And then virtual machine scale set. And then we have Azure DNS, then ARM template, Azure SQL, and then authentication, authorization, and schema validation. We have that concept, I will tell you. Oh, sorry. And we have to learn about Azure SQL. In Docker and Kubernetes are the tools what we'll be learning as part of containerization technology. In that, I'll be covering all these particular topics what I've listed in the screenshot. Okay, so you may not understand now. If I say also, it will be a non-understandable. You cannot understand the concept. Okay, I just want to convey that we'll be concentrating more on containerization technology in this entire course, and you guys also have to concentrate more on it for your career path. Okay, I'm not saying you that you have to ignore other services. Along with that, you have to concentrate more, and means you have to put some extra effort or additional effort on these particular tools to understand the concept. Okay, and after completing this particular Azure services, the next important topic is cloud services for DevOps or DevSecOps. What are the cloud services we have for DevOps technology? Azure repos, which comes under Git, and then Azure pipeline, which comes under CI/CD. And we'll be learning about Azure artifacts, and then Azure boards like a Zira tool, Microsoft Defender for container, Microsoft Defender for Kubernetes. These are the services which we'll be learning. Some of the services which are not listed here, I think it is, yeah, that's all. These 4: Azure repos, Azure pipeline, Azure artifacts, Azure boards. These particular 4 services comes under Azure DevOps. Azure has its own DevOps services. What are those? Repos, pipelines, artifacts, and boards. Okay, so this comes under Azure DevOps services. Apart from that, we need to learn some non-cloud services as well, which doesn't come under cloud services. What are those? Prometheus and Grafana for Kubernetes, which comes under metrics and visualization for Kubernetes. Okay, and then Git. I told you that we will be learning about Git, that is under Azure repos. And then Ansible, Terraform. You guys have to concentrate more on Terraform as well. That is so important for your career as well. And then SonarQube, which comes under static code analysis. Okay, so that comes under also security part. So these are the non-cloud services which we'll be learning as part of DevOps. Now after completing this, finally we have to learn about security tools. What are those? Try Docker security for CS benchmark testing, KubeBench, KubeLinter. So these are the services which comes under security part. Okay, so these are the phases what we need to do. First we need to complete Linux, then we need to learn Azure services, then we need to learn DevOps services, then we need to learn non-cloud services, and then we need to learn security tools. Okay, after completing all of this, we need to do some live demo as well. I'll give you some projects which we have given in the screenshot as well as part of the advertisement, right? One is Python Django application, not Python Django, sorry, Java Spring Boot, and then our live application called k8sengineers.com. Visualpath is having its own live application. For example, I'll show you. So we have our live application called k8sengineers.com. So we will be deploying this application on our Azure cloud using some automation scripts. We'll show you manually and through automation as well how to deploy this application on Azure cloud services. We'll try to build the architecture and we will try to deploy it. Okay, so this is a live project. Many people are using this. Almost we have 2,000 or 3,000 people who are using this particular website to understand Docker and Kubernetes in depth. Okay, this is our e-learning portal, which is designed for especially for Docker and Kubernetes. Okay, based on your career, you have to choose a program as per your requirement. So coming back to the point, I'll show you some live projects and you have to deploy them on your own as well. Okay, and then what is my career? After completing this particular course, what is my role? So I have to search for a jobs related to Azure Solution Architect or Azure DevOps Engineer, or you can call it as Azure DevSecOps Engineer or Cloud DevSecOps Engineer. So this is your role right now, okay, which you have to, for your job description, what you have to mention, okay. And then finally, this is my GitHub link. If you want to see what are the documents I've created, and if you want to see some sample videos, I've uploaded some sample videos in the YouTube channel, and you can see my way of teaching and my approach of teaching as well in the YouTube channel called this one, Sudhir DevOps. If you search in YouTube channel, you'll get a YouTube link, okay, and you can watch some sample videos. So this is our live application which we are going to deploy, and this is my email address. If you have any concerns, you can drop me an email on this particular address. Okay. Now one more point which I want to discuss is this is called as DevOps roadmap. What is a DevOps roadmap? If I want to be a DevOps engineer along with the security, I have to learn each and every tool in one of the categories. So how many categories we have here right now? 8 categories, but we need to include only 7 because we are not learning any programming language in this course. You can ignore it. We'll be learning Linux operating system as part of server administration. As part of servers, we'll be learning about web server like Apache and Nginx. Under cache, we'll be learning about Memcache or Redis. And under database, we'll be talking about SQL database like PostgreSQL and MySQL, and NoSQL database like DynamoDB. And then under CI/CD, we will be using Azure DevOps pipeline. We will not be using any third-party tools. We'll be using Azure pipeline as part of CI/CD. As part of the cloud, what service we will be using? Azure Cloud. Okay, so this is covered. As part of monitoring and logging, we will be using Prometheus and Grafana, which comes under monitoring. As part of logging, we will be using ELK. And as part of infrastructure as a cloud, we will be using configuration management like Ansible, and then container as Docker, containerization orchestration as Kubernetes, infrastructure provisioning we will be using Terraform. After this, we need to learn about network fundamentals as well. You might have learned about what is IP, what is IPv4, IPv6, what are the classes we have like class A, class B, class C, class D, class E, what is OS and ISO model, how to calculate the IP address, what is subnet, what is gateway, what is broadcast, what is a switch, what is a hub, what is a router. We need to learn all these fundamentals. Nowadays, we cannot say that it is not my responsibility. If you are a DevSecOps engineer, you have to learn about it. I'm not talking about Cisco level routing. I'm talking about basic networking. You need to have a knowledge on that. Then only we can create a network on the cloud. Then only we can configure some IP address on the operating system. If you don't know the fundamentals of networking and security, you cannot protect your devices from the attacks. Okay, so you have to be strong enough in networking as well. We'll be covering that. Okay, so if you want to be a DevOps engineer, you have to learn each and every component. You have to pick one of the tools from each and every component. Okay, so this is all about the topics I'm covering right now. And remember, I'll show you some projects. So this entire course will take 2.5 months to complete, daily 1 hour. The timings will be from evening in IST 8 to 9. Okay, you can estimate according to your UTC time zone or EST, whatever you're staying with. According to IST, the timing is from 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Okay, daily 1 hour session, except Sundays, we'll have a session. Saturdays, I'll take few days. Some Saturdays, I'll not take a session. Okay, it all depends upon the syllabus, what we are trying to complete. Okay, so this is all about all the topics which I'll be covering in this entire course. Okay, the only thing what you need is you have to concentrate more. People who are staying in US, UK and all, right, you might be seeing a lot of profiles which are related to Azure cloud. Okay, in US, UK, in India as well. In upcoming future, Azure cloud will be used by most of the customers in their organization. Nowadays, AWS is leading one. That is actual fact. But Azure is also a competitor for your AWS as a replacement or as a solution. Okay. Yeah. So this is all about the entire syllabus. You can talk about fees and all to your Visualpath, but any technical questions you can talk to me. And resume preparation will be done after this particular entire course is done. I'll prepare a resume sessions as well. We can discuss according to your experience what you want to add. Based on that, we have to discuss about resume. For everyone, it will not be the same, right? Some people want to go it as a fresher. Some people want to go it as 1 year experience or 1 to 3 or 3 to 5 like that. So this course is all about you can add an experience until 5 years. Relevant experience under DevSecOps. Okay. Any questions now? I can take it up. Since it is a demo, right? I
I'm
quickly
having one
explain like
question.
what are the services. Quickly explain what are the services. Sorry?
Hi, Sudhir. I'm having
Your
one.
voice is breaking. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, go. From my side, is it for everyone?
I'm able to hear you, Sudhir.
Okay, go ahead. Yeah. Someone is asking something.
So, yes, Sudhir, I'm Sirisha.
Hi, Sirisha. Yeah,
Yeah,
go ahead.
actually, I'm currently I'm working on Power Apps, Microsoft Power Platform. So
Okay.
here we are developing one application. We are developed one application. So coming to Azure DevOps, can we develop application in Azure?
No. See, application we cannot develop. If you want to develop an application, you have to be a programmer, either Java, .NET, Node.js, or by using some language, you have to develop an application, right? Where you will run this application on Azure cloud. That's what we are learning right now. So from developer, you will get a code, and how will you deploy that code, your application code, in the Azure cloud in a proper solution by using a proper solution, right? That's what we are trying to learn here.
Okay, sure.
It's not about
Thank you.
development.
Yeah.
Any other questions, please, from anyone?
Hello Sudhir, this is Imtiaz.
Right. Yes.
Recently, I started hearing DevSecOps. So,
Yeah.
DevSec means is this security, and if it is security,
Additionally, DevOps, earlier we used to have DevOps, right? So DevOps in the sense we used to automate our developers and operations team together by using common tools. Security team used to use a separate tools as part of security. Now we need to integrate that security tools as part of DevOps pipeline so that security checks also will be run as part of CI/CD pipeline. That's the main intention of integrating security as part of DevOps. That's the reason the terminology came into picture called DevSecOps.
so so we will be using any as a DevOps engineer, we will be using.
We will be using so many security tools. Yes. I listed right. I hope you have seen it. Privy, Kubebench, Kubelinter, and then we'll be talking about Microsoft Defender for Cloud. There are many services. There are some AWS services, there are some Azure services and open source services as well, which we are going to discuss as part of security. I hope you have seen the slide, right?
Yeah, thank
You're
you.
able to.
Hi Sudhir, this is Krishika.
Yeah.
Just wanted to ask you whether you'll be giving the vulnerabilities and remediation of the Docker, Kubernetes, and on the cloud, how it would be done.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Regarding the documentations and PPTs, what I'm showing you right now, everything will be shared over to you. Okay, and daily basis recording will be done. If you missed any class due to your personal issues and all, no need to worry about that. You can watch the recording at any time and you can join the next session and you can continue from where you are. Okay, So recordings will be shared in the portal, that access will be given to you. PPTs will be there, documents will be there, and daily recording will be there. You have to watch it and you have to practice every day. Every topic I will be giving you some task. Okay, and you have to complete them. It's up to you whether you complete or not. Okay, I don't want to force anyone. Okay, so if you want to grow in your career, you have to do that particular task in order to understand the concept. That is your choice. Okay, so I want everyone, what are the intention you have or intensity you have in the starting session, same intensity has to be there in the ending session as well. Okay, the curiosity of learning the new topics, of searching for the new topics and all, that curiosity has to be there in the software technology. If you want to survive, you have to be there always. That's a simple logic. That is not that easy, right? If that is easy, everybody will get a job in software. But that is not an easy thing. Someone told me to get a job in software, that's the reason I'm learning it. That's not the case. If you are interested, what is your interest? What is your effort? What is the effort that you can place in? That matters for you. Okay, don't join the course because someone told me, my relative told that you will get a good salary like 24 lakhs, 25 lakhs and all. That's not the truth. As a friend, I'm suggesting you. Okay, so don't spoil your career unnecessarily. If you are intended, if you want to learn and get a job, generally join the course. Don't join the course unnecessarily and waste your amount and time as well. Okay, that's a suggestion. If you want, you can ignore it.
Yeah. Hi, Sudhir. This is Sheikh.
Yeah.
For every concept, which means for infrastructure wise, monitoring wise, and service wise, you have
Yes.
suggested one, right?
Yes, exactly.
Is the basic one, or we need to learn other things also, which means other
No, that is more than enough. Private tool is most widely used for container images security. Microsoft Defender will give you some suggestions. What are the necessary actions you have to take in your cloud? Sometimes I may not be right. Someone will give me some recommendations. It is up to me whether to follow it or not. One of them is nothing but Microsoft Defender for cloud.
Okay.
Those kind of concepts. So
This is,
you don't need to
you're
go beyond
suggesting
the boundary
Ansible,
what I'm
right?
teaching.
Do we need to
Yes.
learn this
Go ahead,
Def
sorry.
and Puppet also? All those things are is Ansible
No,
is
no, no.
enough
See,
like that?
as a human being, even I cannot learn all these tools, right? I need to pick one tool that is important for my career. Even I don't know how to use stuff. I learned about it, but I learned hardly 15 days or 20 days. After that, I left it because it is not widely used. That's the reason I concentrated my career whole on Ansible and most widely used. So I'm trying to suggest you which is the most widely used by many of the organizations further as part of automation. That's I'm suggesting you. You cannot learn every tool. That is impossible. Okay, even I don't know what is other services we have. Okay, we need to pick one tool from each and every concept. That's your initial step.
Yes. Okay. And one more question, Sudhir. Is AI apps will replace this DevOps, or
No,
is there
no. See,
any
don't get panicked
DevOps?
with that.
Yes,
Don't
Sudhir.
get panicked with that. Don't get panicked with the AI technology and ML technology. That's a different
Okay.
scenario altogether.
Okay. Why? Because nowadays the AI is grooming like a fire, right? So we have a
Yeah.
little bit
See, even
confusion with
DevOps,
it.
when DevOps started, right, everybody was told that the jobs will be not there. So no jobs will be there and all right. What happened right now? We have many opportunities, right? When that
Yeah.
technology came into picture, we have plenty of opportunities. It all depends, right? See, this is all about mindset. What other people will say. See, someone will promote to say that you need to learn this one because they want to run their business. Simple strategy it is.
Okay. Yeah. Yes, Sudhir. Thanks.
If that is the case, I also need to learn ML and AI, right? I don't know ML and AI as of now.
Okay.
We are on the same page right there. No need to worry.
Yeah, understand, Sudhir.
Sudhir,
Yeah, thanks.
Yes, go ahead.
Sudhir, will the class be on Saturdays also? All these 2.5 months?
Saturday, I will take it as an option. See, it is up to you. Means I'll talk to you guys. If you are okay to Saturday, or let's say you want to practice If you want some time, I will not take a session on Saturday. It is not a force, just an option.
Okay, because most of us may be
I
missing the
understand. You guys might
class.
be working on night shift or something like that, and you want to practice on a weekend and all. So if you want like that, I will take off on Saturday as well.
Okay, thank you.
And the people who are planning to complete your course within 2 months and all, I'm not the right person. So at least I will take 2.5 months, maximum 3 months to complete this entire topics. You have seen the list, right? If I need to cover the topics in depth, I have to spend some more time. That is 2.5 to 3 months, approximately. I'm saying. Okay. So within that, I will try to complete the syllabus, and then you can search for your jobs.
Sudhir, Imtiaz here
So
again.
I'm having one doubt.
Yeah,
In the
Indias, just a
section of
second. Yeah. Go ahead.
oh, sure.
Someone is
So
talking, right?
Sudhir, I'm having one doubt.
Yeah.
Sirisha, yeah.
Yes,
So
Rishi.
if anyone has the coding background is very low, I mean low code. Actually, I'm working from RPA and Power Apps. There is no coding
Okay.
in RPA and Power Apps.
Okay.
So coming to this Azure, how much we can expect the coding level?
Coding zero. I'm not teaching any programming language here. We need to learn
Zero.
a code which is
Okay.
relevant to that particular specific tool. We are not writing any programming language. We'll be using some DSL, domain specific language, front end language we call it as. Okay. For example, Terraform. Terraform, we don't write any programming. We write a Terraform configuration file. Means we need to follow some syntax in writing that particular file. That we will be learning.
Okay.
The only language
Yes.
that we'll be learning is shell
That is
scripting. That's all. We'll be learning shell scripting, bash shell scripting. That's all.
okay.
No programming language here.
Okay. Thank you, Sudhir.
Yeah.
Sudhir, in the section of
Yeah.
logging, which section you will cover?
Which one?
Which topic you will cover in the section of logging?
Which one?
Which topic you will cover?
Logging and monitoring. We have Azure monitoring. Apart from that, we have Prometheus and Grafana as well, and EFK. This all comes under metrics and logging, both of them.
Yeah. There is ELK also. You will cover ELK or a different one?
ELK, EFK. I'll be covering EFK, Elasticsearch, Fluentd, and Kibana.
Okay. Okay, thanks.
That comes under logging for your Kubernetes cluster. Apart from that, we have Azure Monitor to fetch the logs of your services, logs and metrics as well, both of them. Yeah. Any other questions, please? Don't hesitate because you don't know me, I don't know you. You can ask me the silly questions as well, whatever you have in your mind.
Yeah, Sudhir, do we need to wait for entire course has to be completed to put a resume or 82
Yes,
or
I would say
70 to 80% course?
if you are confident enough on the main topics like Docker, Kubernetes, Terraform, Ansible, try to start putting your resume. But remember, once you get rejected, again you cannot apply to the same company for 3 months or 6 months according to their policy. If you are okay to
Yeah,
that, I would say go ahead. Okay, but if you're in hurry, if you miss that company rate, again you cannot give a try until 3 months to 6 months. Be careful with that.
yeah, Sudhir. Yeah, understood. Okay.
Sir, I have one doubt from my
Yeah, go
side.
ahead.
Sir, sir, you have to set now this basic from the Azure cloud. For
Yes.
this all the so this Microsoft Azure or Google Cloud or AWS for these basics.
We are teaching Azure Cloud from basics. We are
Azure
not
Cloud.
covering any other cloud
Azure.
apart from this. We are talking about Azure Cloud, Microsoft Azure. It's a Microsoft product.
Yes, sir.
We are not covering any AWS and GCP. It's entirely Azure. What are the services I'll be talking about DevSecOps? It will be on Azure Cloud.
Okay, sir.
Sessions
Thank you.
when it will get started, Visualpath will intimate you. Timings will be from 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. IST, India Standard Time.
Sudhir, in CI/CD, which tool you would be, I can be saying like
I'll be
GitHub.
covering Azure Pipeline. No, not GitHub Actions. I'll be using Azure Pipeline. In the pipeline, you have to write a YAML file to implement CI/CD.
Okay.
GitHub is also Microsoft acquired it. You know, it's acquired by Microsoft. Earlier it is
Yes.
open source, but it is owned by other company. Recently in the sense 4 5 years back, it is acquired by Microsoft. Even in GitHub Actions also we have to write a YAML files. Both the same. It's pretty easy, right? If you want to write a YAML, it is a pretty easy way to write a pipelines.
I can see the database also here. So as a DevOps engineer, how I will be, what I will be dealing with the database as a.
Database, right? See, your responsibility is all about to create a platform. It's not about you need to write some queries, joins, insertion, altering and all. You have someone will ask you as a database engineer, he'll ask you to create a database server, and you have to create for them as a proper solution to it. That's all. That is your responsibility as a DevSecOps engineer. Once a platform is created, your developer will insert some data. He will do the next actions, right?
It's all do on the cloud instance only, right, Sudhir?
Everything is free of cost. You don't need to worry about that. Whatever I'll be teaching, right, you can practice in your local system. Azure Cloud is free of cost for 1 month. They'll give you some 13,000 or 14,000 INR. Until the 13,000 or 1 month, you can use it for free of cost. After that, they will apply a billing. So you can create 2 accounts, right? You can practice for 2 months. Enough. No additional charges will be applied. There are solutions. I'll tell you how to practice, how to understand the concept. I'll teach you. No need to worry about that.
Sudhir, are you going to cover up Azure board?
Azure boards, yes. Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Epic stories, we call it as Zero stories, right? So epic, bugs, and all.
You
Okay,
will be covering
that's all for
Docker,
today,
right?
guys. Yeah, Sheikh.
You will be covering Docker, right? In your teachings.
Yeah, that is the main tool. Docker and Kubernetes, both of them.
Okay.
And Azure service as well, as part of Docker and Kubernetes. I'll be teaching you on premises and cloud as well, both of them.
Thank you very
Okay.
much.
Thank you all for joining. So plan your career and according to that, take a decision. Okay. Thank you all. Thanks for joining.